So thank you. So my name's Fran Copely and I'm presenting about the Agri-Futures Chicken Meat Programs funded project, which is looking at the carbon and environmental impacts of chicken meat production. And I'm presenting on behalf of Dr. Stephen Wiedemann. So just before I get into describing the project, I thought we'd talk about some recent indicators which really give a bit of background as to why this project is going ahead. So I'm sure you're all aware, the NFF is calling for carbon neutral by 2050. We've seen industries and sort of competing products from the pork industry and the red meat industry who are looking to develop either low carbon products or to move towards carbon neutrality. And equally, this is a trend which is reflected both in sort of lenders at the moment and in various elements of the supply chain. So why is the project being conducted? Well, as I mentioned, it's funded by the Agri-Futures Chicken Meat Program, and the ACMF and the Chicken Growers Council are supporting this project via the steering committee. And ultimately what the project's aiming to do is determine the average environmental performance of chicken meat production on an industry-wide level. So to do that, we're looking at greenhouse gas emissions, energy use, water consumption, and nutrient flows. And a second element of the project is to investigate the feasibility of various greenhouse gas reduction measures and the possibility of carbon neutral pathways or low carbon pathways for the industry. And before we've even really gotten that far into the project, we can tell you that given the low environmental footprint of chicken meat production, it's expected that it'll be a lot easier for the chicken meat industry to achieve carbon neutrality or low carbon targets compared with others, such as, the red meat industry. In terms of what's involved in the project, we're asking growers to provide basic data for the 2020, so 19-20 financial year, and that's via a short online survey. So all the survey will ask for is your production type and range areas, if applicable, your energy use and any generation, your water consumption, the total number of birds and live weight produced over that financial year, and we ask for your processing company. That's only so we can link various supply chain phases to generate that carbon footprint, and none of the data you enter will be shared with the processing company. And as again, participation is voluntary. So in terms of managing data, we understand that there are significant privacy concerns for many people about sharing such sensitive data, particularly about like energy use. But we'll say from the start, so all survey responses are anonymous and only Integrity Ag will have access to your responses. Any data you enter will not be made available to a processing company, to Agri-Futures or to any other party. So what we're going to do is we're going to anonymise and aggregate all the data. You'll also have the option to complete the survey anonymously. And once we've aggregated all that data and de-identified it, it'll be used to determine the carbon and environmental footprint of the grow-out phase, which will then factor into the overall carbon footprint of chicken meat production. So in terms of how to get involved, I've included the link here to the survey, and I think it'll be shared after this webinar. That said, if you have any questions about the purpose of the project, or you have any questions about what sort of data you need or how to enter that data, please reach out to Integrity Ag and Environment. I'm one of the key contacts on that project, and so is Eugene McGann, whose details are there, and those details are also included in the survey introduction. So that's all. That's my brief overview of the Agri-Futures project. And as I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.